But we begin with the story that's new at 5. The first round of the controversial PARCC exam did not go well for Rhode Island students.
And we've got the numbers a short time ago, and the scores are alarmingly low across the state. Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell joins us now live in the newsroom with the results.
The education commissioner tells us the results of these tests should serve as a call to action. This was the first year for the PARCC exam. Now the results are in.
No matter how you look at this, these results are not what we would have hoped for.
About 36% of Rhode Island students in grades 3 through 10 are meeting standards in English. Only 25% are meeting standards in math. And when you go more in depth into the numbers, you'll see significant achievement gaps in urban communities. At 3 of Providence's high schools, Mount Pleasant, Hope, and Cooley, fewer than 4% of students are at grade level in English. At Shea High School in Pawtucket, less than 1% of students are meeting expectations in math.
Those are gaps that we've seen for some time. They continue to be disturbing.
Dr. Ken Wagner is Rhode Island's education commissioner. While he says the results are disturbing, he tells us overall they're not surprising.
These results are not an indication of failure. They're not an indication of failure on the part of our students, on the part of our teachers, on the part of our schools, on the part of the tests, or on the part of the standards. These results are a baseline, a starting point of the work that we have ahead of us.
Dr. Wagner says the state's strategic plan to improve education includes investments in professional development for principals and teachers and partnerships with parents and families. We wanted to know where Rhode Island stands in comparison to other states that took this test, but we discovered not all of the results are available, and states that do have results have not released all of the numbers yet. Now, here in Rhode Island, there were some bright spots in these test results. Coming up new at 6, hear from the South Kingstown superintendent why she says she thinks her students did so well on this test. Live in the newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
Now our top local story, Rhode Island's new standardized test results are in.
Overall, the scores are not good. About 36% of students met expectations in English, and about a quarter met the benchmark in math.
But there are a few school districts that performed well. New at 6 tonight, the superintendent in one of those towns explains why she thinks her students did so well. Eyewitness News reporter Susan Campbell joins us now live in the newsroom.
When I spoke with the superintendent in South Kingstown this afternoon, she was smiling from ear to ear. She says she is so proud of her students and her teachers. PARCC results are in, and they're not good.
These results are not what we would have hoped for.
Statewide, 36% of students met expectations in English. Only 25% met expectations in math. But there are some bright spots in the results. We've learned South Kingstown schools are among the top performers in the state, and Peacedale Elementary tops the list with 76% of students meeting expectations in math and 81% of students meeting expectations in English.
I think it's very exciting that Peacedale, as a Title I school, which means we have a high concentration of students living in poverty at that school, was able to show dramatic gains and wonderful results in both reading and math. So I think that's very special.
Dr. Kristen Stringfellow is the superintendent of South Kingstown schools. She credits her students' success in part to the Columbia University Reading and Writing Project, a program the district invested in 5 years ago. She tells us South Kingstown is the only district in the state using the program.
Curriculum.
South Kingstown also invested in math and literacy coaches.
These are expert teachers that come right out of our classrooms to work with our teachers to perfect their lessons and their craft.
The state's education commissioner says he hopes to learn from those top performing schools to improve education statewide. Live in the newsroom, Susan Campbell, Eyewitness News.
We have in-depth coverage of Rhode Island's PARCC results. Here are 2 more things you need to know about the scores. 1, Rhode Island's achievement gaps are scary. Students who don't live with low-income families were 3 times more likely to meet expectations in math than their low-income counterparts, and twice as likely to be on grade level in English.
And number 2, this is a baseline year. Don't forget, this is the first time the students have even seen this test. We have a list of all 12 things you should know about the PARCC results. Just go to WPRI.com for the complete list.
And our in-depth coverage continues on Eyewitness News at 6:30 over on Fox Providence. Coming up, moving forward with what parents need to understand about their children taking this test.